Hello, Aries, and welcome to May 2021, your astrological chat for the month. Um, May, what can I say? Transformation, baby. We are going through a lot of shifts, and it's looking like April part 2, but more external. April is a lot of internal work and could have been a lot of fun as well. May is looking like half and half, a month of pretty easygoing energy, and then the second half a little more actionable and transformational, and a lot of realization of our dreams and things like that. In different areas for each person. The big, heavy-hitting energies this month really seeing, of course, the eclipse happening towards the end of the month, or at the end of the month, and also around the middle of the month, we're having Jupiter going from Aquarius to Pisces, and that's a really big deal as well. We haven't had that since about 2010, I believe, so yes, for you, Aries, it's looking a lot, there's a lot in store for you of value, of material wealth, material goods, assessing your own value. There's a lot of that, especially at the beginning of the month. So with that, I guess, let's jump into your month, Aries. Yes, so starting off your month, Aries, we have on the 2nd, we have Mercury in Taurus, trining Pluto in Capricorn. Now, like I said, the first month is really flowy, really, I would say pretty relaxing. And the Mercury in Taurus, trining Pluto in Capricorn, it's between your 2nd and your 10th house. So, like I said, value. Regarding career and your higher aspirations, how you're communicating, how you value your communication it's a big boost of confidence. This is huge. It's like a big boost of confidence in your communications regarding your career and your goals in a very deep way. That's how you're starting out your month. It's a really big deal, especially with the eclipses coming. This is really nice for you guys. Now, on the same day, we have Venus in Taurus, sextiling Neptune and Pisces, also in that 2nd house, but with the 12th house, which means, I don't know, this looks like many of you that work in a creative field, and you're getting a huge boost of imagination and creative prowess. Honestly, this is a really big deal because the sextile is a working benefic aspect. It's not just doing all the work for you. It takes a little bit, just a bit of your effort, but not much, and it's like really looking good on that day as well. So early May, yes, everyone wants to be Aries in that. This is a beautiful creative time for you. So in May, on the 3rd, we have at 10:49 p.m. I will be adding sometimes certain timing because some people would like to know exactly when these transits are coming in. So yeah, on May 3rd at 10:49 p.m., Mercury is entering Gemini, and this is in your 3rd house of communication, going along with the day prior. You're getting a big boost in communication here in the first part of May, and that's really great for you. On the 3rd as well, we have Mercury. Now, with any communicative boost, no action, I don't think actions can manifest as well as they can with a square. And there are squares here on the 3rd. Mercury in Taurus is squaring Jupiter in Aquarius between your 2nd and 11th house. So you're communicating, you have communications online with social media or with a big, large group of organization or friends. And There is a bit of, you know, what I see here is Mercury is a planet of communication, but it's with regards to your values. So there could be like a little bit of shakiness in confidence here with those communications. But because Mercury is in Gemini and it loves to be there, it looks like this is working out for you. It's a working aspect, and it's looking like you come through with it. With the Sun in Taurus squaring Saturn and Aquarius in your 11th house, we have again this self-confidence meets social media, large organizations, or groups of friends, and there is this tension, but also I feel like with the sextiles before that, the day prior, you have enough momentum in courage. This is like a courageous aspect, because when you don't have ultimate confidence, you have courage, Aries, and this is a big deal. And this is what helps Aries so much achieve so many great things. You guys aren't afraid to act, and if you are afraid, you act anyway, and that is very profitable. And this looks like this could be something like that for you guys, like whether you're ready or not in absolute value of yourself, you're doing it, and it's going to show good results. You know, there's always good in the growth that comes from squares and sextiles leading up to it. It looks like really good. So on May 5th, happy Cinco de Mayo, at 1:13 a.m., we have Jupiter quintiling Uranus in your 11th house, and then between your 11th and your 2nd house, because we also have Uranus in Taurus. So you have Jupiter and Uranus. They're quintiling each other between your 11th and 2nd house. So like I said again, the quintil is an aspect of, I don't know if to say it's good or bad. It's like there's a little bit of friction, a little bit of, I don't know if you could call it planet anxiety, but excitement as well. And between your 2nd and 11th house, there's a big energy of excitement here. And the next day you have a trine, so this looks like it's going in for the win. It's a beautiful thing. Yes, so Aries, on May 6th, it looks like Venus in Taurus is trining Pluto in Capricorn. This is going along with what we were talking about days prior, that a lot of these efforts with regards to value and career, and also social media and different platforms or friends or wealth coming from those, it's looking like there was a little excitement or exciting energy, jittery energy, whatever you want to call it. And then on the 6th, it looks like there's a win there with Venus in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn, and in a deep way that you might not even realize. Like, it looks like either it looks like the people that you're professionally engaging with, they see your passion, they see the depths of your abilities as well, and in a loving way. This looks really wonderful for you. So on the 6th, again, we have at 1:33 p.m., we have True Node, the North Node, sextiling Chiron. So that's between your 3rd and your 1st house. So here we have a benefiting aspect, working to benefit on the 6th. Between that house of communication and the 1st house with regards to you. Now with Chiron there, you could have, maybe you feel a little bit self-conscious, or Chiron is like a healing aspect. It's called the wounded healer. So many times this represents somewhere where you feel either you're healing from an internal struggle or something, but this looks like you're coming out ahead. Maybe you feel a little bit of anxiety over communications, but it's coming out ahead. This looks like a very healing, deep healing, because the true node, North Node, has to do with your destiny in the world, and it looks like you guys are nodding in the right direction. So yeah, this, whatever is going on here, you're healing and you're moving through, and you're achieving success here with that. Now on May 8th, we have at 4:51 a.m. Many of you won't even be awake during this time unless you're very early risers. And we have Ceres, an asteroid, entering Taurus, and that's in your second house of value and all those material, wonderful things. Generated usually on your own values. So with that, Ceres is an asteroid generally representing nourishment, how kind of like it's the goddess of agriculture too in mythology. So there's a representation here of kind of your bounty, like the bountiful times ahead, depending on the aspects. But the fact that it's in that second house of value, it's bringing bountiful times in the future. This is what this is beckoning. For the most part, I can see that, and especially with Venus is entering Gemini also, and Venus loves to be in Gemini. It can move around there in a very excitable way, and the fact that it's in your third house of communications, it's looking like communications are good. Value and wealth could be good now or later. So let's move on to the 11th. On May 11th, we have Mars in Cancer sextile Uranus in Taurus between the 4th and 2nd house for you, Aries. And with this, it's again that nurturing action, kind of like a nurturing mother towards her kids or her, family in general. Just that loving action that you're taking. There's a sextile here between your 4th and 2nd house, and it's between Mars in Cancer and Uranus in Taurus. So you're taking this action towards things that you value, towards it could be people you value, or towards, it could be your material wealth, and you're doing it in a revolutionary way. Or there's a revolution happening in your with your material wealth, with your material goods, and you're taking action to make that happen in a nurturing way. That's what that looks like, and or you're nurturing your own set of values and you're rearranging them. Now, come May 11th again, around 3 p.m. There's a new moon in Taurus, and this just passed the recording of this video, and the new moon in Taurus with your 2nd house, you could possibly have been really digging deep with your new set of values, or something, maybe you bought something new for your home, and there's this new way of nurturing yourself with your material goods, or with things that you value, and the new way that you're valuing with Uranus and Taurus in that house. There's new ways of maybe monetizing, or ways that you're revolutionizing maybe the way you pay for things. It could be you're switching to Apple Pay, it could be literal like that, or things of that nature, or your set of values is shifting, and you're doing it in a nurturing way. That's really helping make the shift a lot more easy. Or you can set really good intentions for that, or set really good intentions for material wealth as well on that day. That's a really good energy for that. Now on the 12th, we have Mercury in Gemini trining Saturn in Aquarius, and that's between your 3rd and 11th house. this is the best aspect to have. It's very free flowing and very easy to get things done. Very easy for your communications online or with larger groups of people or with big organizations. On the 12th, it looks like you have a lot of good flowing energy there. There's a certain internal shift going on in these days, because you have on the next day you have the actual shift happening between Jupiter and Pisces, and that's in your 12th house. So you had all this energy online and with big organizations, and on the 13th, Jupiter's entering that 12th house, which is very creative, very transcendental, very meditative, and it can really boost your creativity, which is awesome. So it's kind of like going within a little bit too. So your internal world is getting a boost, and that's really good for people in creative fields. If you're an artist, you could be getting like a boost in your artistic capabilities, or in your career as well, if it's artistic. Now, on the 13th, again, we have the Sun in Taurus sextiling Neptune in Pisces. This is amazing because you have that second house of values, and you're valuing yourself a lot more creatively. It's probably this Jupiter and Pisces energy that's really boosting that as soon as it enters a house. Whether or not it's conjunct a planet in the same house, it adds like a different feel to the environment. So Neptune and Pisces got a boost in energy. It's kind of like opening the window and ooh, fresh air, So your values are feeling that. You're valuing your creative efforts. You're valuing it could be spiritual efforts or meditation for some people. You're valuing that more, and you're seeing your worth in that. Now, skipping over to the 17th, we have the Sun in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn. And again, we're looking at your values and then also your career. So because of all this energy going into you and how you value yourself and your creative abilities, your spirituality, all those things, it's trickling into your career, and it's with the trine there, it's amazing. It's an amazing. Expect something on the 17th to be really good. Maybe some good news in career, or good news with your legacy, or good news with 10th house, I believe, also rules parents and things like that. Sun in Taurus, that second house. So there's a lot of vitality in your valuing of yourself with what's happening here. Could be like career news that is really boosting your confidence, or just growth in the right direction, or a beautiful way you approach this growth. So on the 19th at 3:12 p.m., just throwing it in there, we have a moon in Leo, and it's at 29 degrees. So it's always a time to mention something when something's at 29 degrees. So this is a creative thing for you. It's in the 5th house. So I guess on May 19th, around 3 p.m., you're having some boosts of creativity happen. Right before it enters Virgo, I believe, with the moon entering Virgo. So it could be creative, and you're actually organizing it after that. You're actually doing something with it, and, just molding it in a beautiful way. So on the 19th, we have Venus in Gemini on the same day, trining Saturn in Aquarius. So that's your 3rd and 11th house. So there's a theme here of, beautifully, it could be work you're doing online for a creative endeavor, and you're communicating with people from a creative field, or it could be a philanthropy. For some people, it could be, a small commute on that day. With the third house, Venus in Gemini, you're making some small commute towards, a group of friends. It could be as far reaching as that, and you're doing something fun and creative. Fifth house is also children. Maybe you're going to see, some family or something like that. It could also be a date. Venus in Gemini is very flirty, so it loves to. You could be working towards, maybe it's a date with friends. This looks like a lot of fun during that time. So on May 20th, we have the Sun entering Gemini. For you, this is in your third house of communication, and you're getting another boost of vitality for that, or for short travel, short trips. You're getting a boost or some kind of notion to do that. And this is looking good. This looks good. I mean, it's always good to have vitality in that. Now, but on the 21st, we have that Sun in Gemini squaring Jupiter in Pisces. So, and that's in your 12th house. So between your third and your 12th house, we have that square. So I would say you might have vitality. You might have an urge to go somewhere. I think it was probably even better to do on the 19th, a day or two before that. But around the 21st, it's looking like, you might have this urge to go somewhere, but, maybe you can channel it into working some creative, something creative, doing something creative, communicating creatively. This is a really good day for that, even more than short travels and everything. If you do travel on this day, just make sure, you just like check the tires, check the oil, things like that, and make sure that everything, the weather's nice, things like that. It's a really good day for rechecking things, because also we're going to have, believe Mercury's in retrograde shadow around this time, so it's a really good time to just review that anyway. But definitely a good time to maybe work in some, maybe you're reviewing some creative, really good for that, really good for reviewing something creative that you're working on and making sure that it's structured correctly and those kinds of things. So on the 22nd, we have Mercury in Gemini squaring Neptune in Pisces, and that's between your third and your 12th house. So, with this Mercury retrograde vibe, kind of not fully retrograde, just in shadow, and maybe there's like a little buzz of it, you might want to, again, review communication that you have creatively, and make sure that, let's say you're an artist, make sure that all the colors are the ones you really want to use, and just make sure that your focus is, you're extra focused on these days. And you can make some beautiful, really gorgeous works of art with, because sometimes when you have a Pisces or like Neptune square, it can actually, or Jupiter too, because they're benefics. If you work with them a little bit and you focus, the squares with those can be really beautiful works of art. So, just make sure you're focused on those days with that. So on the 23rd, at 5:19 a.m., we have Saturn turning retrograde, and that's happening in your 11th house. So Saturn goes retrograde not as often as Mercury or some of the other planets, but when it does go retrograde, it's really reviewing your work, your solid work, your solid actions, your disciplines. It's asking us like, where can we be more efficient? And for you guys, it's in your 11th house. So it's saying like, how can I be more efficient with my groups of friends, or reorganize, learning better how to organize large groups of people, organize my actions with large organizations. And it's just like, it's an internal thing, and you can really just kind of work out the kinks and make everything even better. And it's happening in Aquarius in the 11th house, so it really has that vibe of like, working on the not communication so much, but like just how you structure everything with larger groups of people, and philanthropies and things like that. Now, on the 26th, there is a full moon total lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, and it's happening at 7:14 a.m. For you guys, it's in your 9th house. Again, that's May 26th, 7:14 a.m., a full moon total lunar eclipse. And with your 9th house, that's, it has to do with like higher learning, or higher thoughts that you have, your higher philosophies, travel as well. Now with that full moon total lunar eclipse, a lot of things, a lot of big shifts happen there. So maybe you're having like a total realization of, wow, this, these beliefs that I had, they're being transformed, they're being changed, they're being like completely, like my mind is completely changing with certain beliefs. Or if it's travel, I don't know how much of a recommendation there is to travel with a full moon total lunar eclipse. But if you do, maybe your travel is illuminating your beliefs in a big way, like totally changing how you view traveling, whether you're traveling or not. Maybe you're just realizing that you really want to travel in the future. That can be another thing. And usually the lunar eclipse is affecting like 6 weeks before, 6 weeks after. The energies are there. So there's like this whole idea that you guys are like, I really want to travel, or I really want to start like some higher education. And, there's a shift there. So on the 27th, Venus in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces. That's between your 3rd and your 12th house, Aries. Like I've said, squares, there's a theme of squaring towards the end of the month. And a lot of times that's great action. That's where most of the transformation, that's where most of the shifts, the big shifts happen. And with the lunar eclipse happening as well, there are big shifts. And it's exciting because, with everything that's been happening in the world, I just feel like these are shifts towards, and with the benefics there, Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces, I just feel like there's a lot of hope here. If there are big shifts and there are some shakeups in the world, or whatever is happening, it's really happening to move us towards bigger, brighter things. We are in a time of transformation, and that takes courage, and that takes a lot of action, which the squares are bringing a lot of action to make things better. So with Venus and Gemini between your 3rd and your 12th house, there's action with your communication and your creativity. So you're like, the square is like you're lifting weights. It's like, you're growing big time. So it could be you're working in a creative field, and you're like building on those muscles, and you're like growing. You're having a lot of growth big time, and things are happening. This is really exciting, actually. Now, on the 29th, to wrap up the month, for the 29th through the 31st, we have on May 29th, 6:34 p.m., Mercury going retrograde officially, and that's in your 3rd house, around the degree of 24 Gemini. And this is really, for you guys, it's a huge review on the way you communicate, a huge review on things like that. You can also have, many times they say, with this, people can come back from the past and communicate with you, friends, it could be family, but it's just people kind of like, hey, how are you doing? Like, it's been so long. And this might have already been happening, by the way. I recently had a friend, or a few friends that were like from my past and talking to me, and it was a really wonderful experience. So this could be happening, or also within your third house, maybe it's a good time to repair like your car or anything. Like, it's not the best time to purchase a new car, but it's a really good time for repair and review, anything like that, like revisiting or things like of that nature. Now, on the 29th, again, we have Mercury in Gemini, conjunct Venus in Gemini. So thank goodness it's conjunct Venus in Gemini, because it's putting a really beneficial spin to this Mercury retrograde. At the opening, it's blessed by a benefic. That's really good. And plus, it's in Gemini, which Mercury, it's in its home in Gemini. So it feels comfortable. It's not fixing itself up. If the planet was a person, it's not like, let's looking in the mirror saying what needs to, it has all its tools in its own house. So if it's like, wow, I need to really fix my makeup, or I need to like fix my hair, it's in its domicile and it can do things with more ease. So yeah, things, sometimes technology goes haywire and certain things like that, but the fact that it's in Gemini, it might make it a little bit smoother. I'm feeling like in the moment it might feel intense, but it's actually might get resolved sooner and easier. So that's really good for your communications. So expect a review, but there's something smooth and benefic about it. Now, on the last day of the month, we have a wonderful aspect. Mars in Cancer trining Neptune in Pisces. I feel like this month, it's like, boom, like right at the end of the month, it was shaky towards the end, or there was a lot of action, a lot of, frictional action. And then right on the last day, we have nurturing action, totally in flow with Neptune and Pisces. And that's between your 4th and your 12th house. So it could be a family aspect, something, maybe a family member helping you out. 4th house is also it's home. So maybe there's something you're hearing from home, and it's towards that creative house for you. That's in that house of creativity, of spirituality. So there's a spiritual aspect with home, and there's nurturing there, and there's something that's giving you a lot of comfort and peace, and it's also exciting with Jupiter and Pisces in that same house. So there's an expansion. So with that, yes, it's looking like it's like a revolutionary month. It's like big shifts, but it's padded with like beneficial energies, on the sides of it. So with that, Aries, I really wish you guys the best month. I know that this month is going to bring you guys wonderful gifts, treasures, and looking forward to June. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful month of May. And yeah, thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe, all those good things, and we'll see you guys in June. Thank you so much.